Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you tonight. Basically, it was a quiet night. I came home. Everybody in the house was already asleep. So basically, I came into here not knowing really what I was going to go do. Basically, slow night. None of my friends are on Skype. And I don't have any podcasts to listen to. So the one thing that I was sort of really thinking about in my mind was I just finished watching TLC 2011. I haven't done a review on that one yet, but as I was watching 2011, I kept on trying to rethink to 2013. Basically, I don't think I ever watched that pay-per-view. I have no memories of basically watching that show. I don't know how I would have missed a whole pay-per-view. I know that I talk a lot about in December. I sort of don't make wrestling my number one priority, I guess you can say. All the family things that are going on between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like last night we went out and we looked at the Christmas lights. And all the dinners and parties that are all around and things like that. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that show. I remember thinking it was really cool when Netflix put TLC up there on the show, but I don't think I ever went and watched it even on there. But with the WWE Network, I went and I checked it out tonight. I didn't even tell you the one reason why I really wanted to watch 2013. The one reason I really wanted to watch was because of the CM Punk on Art of Wrestling Volume 2 podcast. The story that CM Punk told about this match, just basically saying how he was getting really pissed off with the agents and just, he was just sort of showing the way that, the wrestlers don't really get to be themselves, going along with a lot of stories that Stone Cold Steve Austin says. Basically, Vince or Pat Patterson would basically tell you the idea of where the storyline was going. You would go out there, you would do your own promo, you would go out there, you would put together your own matches. Of course, they would tell you who was going to go over, but it was up to you to sort of read the crowd and really, figure out what was going on. When it comes to today, you've got, different agents, you've got Vince, Triple H, all involved in what's going on inside of your match, trying to make sure that you're doing this, that, or the other, or you say this, that, or the other, and basically, there was a whole bigger story. I don't know who hasn't listened to this podcast yet, but basically CM Punk was asking for this day off for over 8 months to go to a friend's wedding, and when push came to shove, he sort of pointed the finger at Doc Hendricks, and he pointed the finger at Vince McMahon for not giving him the day off, saying that he really needed to be a part of the TLC pay-per-view, that the pay-per-view wouldn't be the same without CM Punk being there. So Punk had to put his foot down and basically give his demands that basically he was going to have his match first. AJ Lee would have her match second. From there, they would have a car waiting at WWE's expense, driving them to the airport. He said that they would fly out of Dallas and they would fly to where the wedding was going to be. I don't know if that meant that he was using the WWE jet or if they had hired their own jet, or maybe they flew commercial. I don't really know. But basically, they were able to make it to the wedding. WWE got what they wanted. CM Punk sort of got what he wanted. He said he got to run into the doors basically as the wedding was ending. And I don't know, when my wife talked about it, she said that was a horrible thing to do, basically, because, they got to see their friends, but it's their friends' exit from their own wedding, and everybody's going to remember CM Punk and AJ Lee coming in and crashing the story, and I guess girls wouldn't like that. Called it a bad move. But that's just the difference between guys and girls. But in this match, I was able to watch it. CM Punk talks about basically how the agents kept on coming up to him, telling him that he was going to go over in the match. But hey, make sure Roman Reigns looks really strong. Whatever you do, make sure Roman Reigns looks real strong. And this was told to him 1,000 times during the match. Of course, everybody can remember last year as it grew closer and closer to, especially to Royal Rumble and WrestleMania season, it seemed like the Shield breakup was inevitable. Because this match went on first, of course, they have the sort of build-up hype for the big show, the big sort of promo, saying, basically what the show was all about. And, of course, that was all about Randy Orton versus John Cena, with them combining the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship to have one unified title. And of course, Triple H and Stephanie came out and delivered a promo talking about all the people that have held this championship, from Lou Thez to Buddy Rogers, to Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, Hulk Hogan, all of these big names from back in the day that had held this title, what this really meant. And this was a big historic occasion, and this was a big pay-per-view. And basically, if you're not watching this, you're an idiot. So they were really building up to the fact of that, and they go right from there into Cult of Personality with CM Punk coming out, and of course then the Shield makes their entrance, coming out of the back, and around this time they're trying to introduce all of the announcers, whether if it's I guess it was Cole, JBL, and the King, and then of course you have the Spanish announce table over there as well. So it's kind of weird. They're trying to do 1,000 things all at once as the Shield is coming down to the ring, and for me, I've always been told about this match. Like I said, I had never seen it before, that this was the 3-on-1 match. So I'm thinking it's just all out anarchy rules. The match starts and the Shield goes over and gets into their corner, and basically they're figuring out who's going to start the match. And I'm like, whoa. Well, the match is already 100% different than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be CM Punk in an all-out fight, trying to fight off all these guys. I found out from watching throughout the commentary that basically Daniel Bryan had to go in and he had to have his own 3-on-1 match that night where they took on the Wyatts. I remember Team Best in the World, which was Daniel Bryan and CM Punk, having a match against the Shield. I think that was at Survivor Series. If not, I could be wrong. That was about a month before. That match I do remember. This one I have no clues about, but basically, I thought this was an average match. I mean, it's as good as it can be from a 3-on-1 appearance, but honestly, if anybody's going into a wrestling match or a fight and it's going to be 3-on-1, I can't think of anybody in the world that's going to be able to win this match. I don't know who the biggest guy in WWE is, but I'm going to pick, Mark Henry. And I'm thinking that even if the 3 lowest of low guys jump into the ring from the WWE against Mark Henry, I'm thinking that more than likely they have no chance in the world. But from here, CM Punk basically played games of outsmarting and, just sort of outworking the Shield in this match. Basically, it was Ambrose that started this match, and from there, they had a good sort of exchange going back and forth, and from there, Ambrose tagged in Rollins, and as Rollins got into the ring and was trying to take the fight to CM Punk ran out of the ring and sort of took the breather and made the count all the way go to 8 before Rollins came out of the ring to chase him. And as Rollins came out of the ring, Punk ran into the ring to the far side of the ring and just sort of waved at him on the outside, sort of trying to get underneath the skin of Seth Rollins and sort of get into it. And from there, finally, Rollins was able to tag in Roman Reigns, who did have a big exchange with CM Punk, trying for the spear on the outside in the very opening early parts of this match. As CM Punk was able to duck the spear as Roman Reigns went flying into over the announce table, hitting the back barricade, where he would damage his eye to the point where he wasn't able to really be a big part of the match from then on. Although, got to make him look strong, you know what I mean? But basically, Roman Reigns was finally able to get back to the ring, and he was able to get back in there, and the match sort of, took its turns when the Shield, working the advantage on CM Punk, but at times, CM Punk, getting back into this, and there was the 3 different occasions where if this was a 1-on-1 singles match, CM Punk would have won this match. It was, I don't want to get these all messed up out of order. I think it was CM Punk putting the Anaconda Vice onto that was another thing that sort of went down, is that Punk only had to get 1 pinfall. This wasn't like Survivor Series rules or anything like that. He didn't even have to get a pinfall. He could have got a count out. He could have got submission. Anyway, Punk could have won this deal. At one point when Roman Reigns was selling the eye injury, it almost was a count out where basically it took Roman to the count of 9 to get back into the ring, which was one easy way that Punk could have won this match. Or Punk had the Anaconda Vice onto Ambrose. And then at another point of the match, Rollins was laid out. CM Punk went up to the top and hit him with the Macho Man elbow for a 2 count. That was another way that it was to get down. But basically, there was a spot where it looked like CM Punk was about to hit the go to sleep on Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose was about to take it, but at that time, Seth Rollins came in to make the save. Basically, CM Punk threw down Ambrose, was able to pick up Rollins as he was on the step, hit him with the GTS, and at that point, Roman Reigns came flying in for the spear, but he was able to duck out of the way. At that point, CM Punk pushed Roman Reigns, who went flying out of the ring, and because of Roman Reigns' spear onto Dean Ambrose, CM Punk was able to get the 1, 2, 3. It looked like he was in a hurry to get out of there, to go catch that flight, because the second the 3 count happened, CM Punk went running up to the top of the ramp. I mean, he was just lickety-split gone, knowing that the Shield was going to be pissed. At that point, he went up to the ramp, and he was able to celebrate his victory. But this match was good. It wasn't great. If you think about any 3-on-1 match, it's not going to be that big of a deal. I think it's cooler when it is, under Survivor Series rules, and maybe, CM Punk had a team, and the Shield dismantled them, and that's what made it to the point where it was a 3-on-1 match. But I don't know. It wasn't great, and it definitely didn't build a whole lot more to this match, so I don't understand why good old Doc Hendricks didn't give him the day off, or CM Punk and Triple H didn't. Oh, I apologize. Vince McMahon and Triple H didn't listen to basically the constant demands of CM Punk. Maybe if they thought that other people were going to be asking for personal days on pay-per-views, pay-per-views pay-per-views would mean a lot less to all of the wrestlers out there, and basically if they're not showing up to work, WWE's not being able to put on the best show they can possible. But I'm sure CM Punk worked 300 days that year. TLC's big main event and big drawing thing basically was all around that TLC match between Randy Orton and John Cena. So I don't think the Shield versus CM Punk really put any butts in the seats or really put any buys on this pay-per-view. So I think it was a bad move on their part. Easily one of the things they could have done to listen to CM Punk and keep him around, and maybe he'd still be there today. I know there was a lot of other problems that he was having, but this is one that he brought up that was a big deal to him, and just them not listening to the things that he wanted. So that's it. TLC 2013, The Shield versus CM Punk. Punk won by pinning Ambrose after Roman Reigns hit him with a spear. Peace out, everybody.